Well, welcome, Janie. How are you?
Doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. Welcome to Let's Talk
I
About It.
love
Thank you,
it.
thank you, thank you so much. So, who is Janie?
Oh, Janie.
Yes.
So, Janie is a mom.
Okay.
I love to teach. I love to help other agents grow, and I love to help my clients get their goals met
Right.
and move with confidence.
Okay. This is why you have a team,
Yes.
right? You come from the teaching aspect of
Mhm.
providing my expertise to watch others do what they do best under your leadership, right? That's
Yes.
good stuff. Good stuff.
Yes.
Good stuff. So, you just made a recent change to Real Brokerage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
So Real Brokerage is, it's like a godsend to me.
Okay.
So being the
Godsend,
type
strong
of
words.
agent that I am, where I love to help others, I love to collaborate, I love to do what's best for them. Before I came to Real, I was already meeting with a lot of agents, just helping them in their career path.
Right.
And I never really got rewarded for that. And sometimes, there was a guard up, either on my part or their part. And Real is just this very collaborative brokerage that puts the agent at the center of the transaction instead of the brokerage,
Okay.
and make sure that we are positioned in a way to help our clients best. And the agents love to help one another, and Real has just been a great environment for meeting people best in digital marketing and being able to take that and share it with my team and my
Right.
clients.
At this point, you said that, right? Best in digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of digital marketing, given the fact that that's changed drastically, right? These past 2, 3 years, post the pandemic, everyone's gotten used to doing things more digitally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you take that and then take some of those who are doing things traditionally? How do you take the two and gel them together to provide value for clients that are looking for home ownership today?
Um, well, I think this can be a lonely business.
Okay.
And a lot of times the following we have on social media is not just clients and buyers, it's also other agents wanting to learn from one another. And I think when you're willing to take what you do in a traditional sense, which for me at the core of it is building relationships and doing whatever it takes to build relationships and solve problems.
Right.
But when you take that and you grab the content from it and you tell the stories from it on a social media platform, I think it helps give you credibility within the industry. It helps others jive with you and build those agent relationships. And,
Right.
and quite honestly, the best transactions in this business go well when two agents have a good relationship with one another and can
That's
do
correct.
what's best for their clients.
Right.
And when you do it digitally, it just creates a community of people who are like-minded and therefore bring the best to our clients.
Yeah, it's key you said that, right? Because again, it's just how we're in this new century now where everything, it is still good to meet folks one on one and have them come to the office at times, but because of time constraints and what we can do digitally, it makes it that much easier for some of us to move back and forth at times.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Good stuff.
It also just gives you exposure.
Right.
So my first $2 million house that I ever listed I sold it in 4 hours on social media. It never even made it onto the MLS. I just created content from it. I showed the house. I put it out there. And because there's a lot of agents in my following, they all started reaching out to me, asking if they can get private appointments. And I was able to set up a whole day of showings and kind of put everyone together and still create a bidding war for my client. My client, it's the one scenario I've had where it didn't make sense to go on the MLS. They had
Right.
an autistic child, and it was not easy for them to get their child out of the house. So I really had to use what I could get from social media in the sense of reaching more people who are in the market looking right now, to kind of drive that demand.
That's key. So speaking of digitally, how has technology changed real estate in today's market?
I think technology has changed because buyers are very savvy. So they have so much information available at their fingertips. So
Right.
they really need agents who have something that they don't have. To me, that is the relationships with other agents, knowing what's coming on the market. But technology has allowed buyers to have a ton of information. So if they're going to work with an agent, and they should work with an agent, they need to work with an agent who's going to provide something they can't get based on, something online. And then for agents, it's allowed us to just stay very connected, do things more efficiently. Real's technology platform, I could do everything off of an app on my phone. That just makes my life so much easier.
Right.
We have artificial intelligence built in, not just for us as agents, but for our clients, where you literally go to the app and you can ask questions that in the past you'd have to call your broker and maybe wait an hour or two to hear back from your broker. Now everything is like
At your
so
fingertips.
quick, at our fingertips.
That's,
Yes.
Again, because we're moving so fast today, and clients want what they want, right? And at times you have to be able to provide that right away. So again, that's a great thing about what Real's doing now with their technology. In addition to, they're doing a good job right now, I would say, recruiting those to be part of the platform and continue to grow. So kudos to you. I've seen a lot of things with folks from Canada coming in, and I'm just like, every time you turn around, I'm like, ooh, there's another hot person coming in, and I'm like, wow. Talk about interest rates. Now, recently we've seen the market shift a little bit, right? Last year we were in the sixes, right? Up until October, we went into the mid-eights with
Right.
mortgage interest rates. That was a little high. And today, we're recording in December, and we got gifts. Mortgage rates are actually right now, we're talking today, 6.62 on a 30-year fixed, with good credit, of course. That's changed drastically. However, how has that affected your business in a way in the past and going into the future?
So interest rates aside, there is a major housing shortage in this country.
Correct.
So regardless of where the interest rates have gone, demand has not slowed down. Affordability may have changed, but demand has not changed.
Right.
So what I noticed happened when the rates started going into the eights, there were still bidding wars. My team works in like the New Jersey train market, so tends to be very white collar, commuting into the city, good schools, expensive towns, like centered around all the New Jersey train towns. And what I noticed is there were still bidding wars.
Right.
So there started being more cash heavy buyers. So people were still placing offers significantly over ask, but maybe they were doing 40% down, 50% down, and just holding and having a smaller mortgage because of the higher interest rate.
Correct.
I think a lot of our buyers are also they're educated. They understand that rates are high, but they're not going to stay that way. So they'd still rather buy now and refinance later than miss out on the opportunity to buy a home or move out to the suburbs. Now that rates are coming back down again, it's the holidays, so you've got people kind of like sitting it out because they don't want to focus on it right now.
Correct.
But those who are staying in the market, and those listings that are going on the market are really taking advantage of these rates dipping back down.
Yeah, I've been talking to my clients talking about, look, if you're in a position now, if you can strike, take this opportunity, because once we get into the spring market, it can be challenging, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is going back to what you're saying, inventory, we have too many people looking for a small amount of homes that this is not available anymore. What has to happen is we have to build more homes. So the only way that happens is these builders end up building these type of homes. So it's still a process, because it's hard to have someone move away from the interest rate that they got and say, hey, I'm gonna either move up, move down, but I don't know where to go because I just don't have the size that I'm looking for, or it doesn't make any sense. Or in some cases, why move? Just add on to my house now. So we just have to see builders continue to build more. I mean, I don't know what that looks like in the future, but that's the only way we're gonna control the demand issue with the housing shortage, right? That's the only way we can do it. So speaking of new construction, that's what you're very savvy with. I've seen, from the field, from you jumping on machinery, you're controlling it left and right, all that good stuff. Can you tell me what does that look like for some of your potential buyers that are moving forward into the new construction phase?
Yeah, so I mean, new construction, renovations has definitely been a way that my team and I have helped buyers win in this market when others are struggling to find a house. Buyers in general are less likely to want to take on a fixer-upper themselves these days. This is like the Instagram era where, they're online, everything looks beautiful to them. Their standard is very different than, like, let's say when I bought my home 15 years ago.
Right.
When I bought my home, I knew I was going to have to do work. I knew I'd be someday updating my kitchen and my bathrooms and everything. Buyers these days want like move-in ready. So my team and I have focused a lot on staying in touch with the builder community so we know what's coming. Finding houses that are fixer-uppers, but matching them up with builders or real estate investors who can flip the home, renovate them, and then put them back on the market. And a lot of times we're able to bring those opportunities to our clients before the rest of the market.
Okay.
At the same time, when I'm representing builders, I also want to make sure that if I'm selling something before it hits the market, I still get them a strong buyer who's qualified, who's offering a fair price for the home.
Okay.
But definitely that has been I would say about 40% of our business has been on new construction or renovations.
And so, given the timeline of new renovations, what do you think? What is the timeline from inception to the project's complete? How long does that usually take? Because that's important. Because these Gen Z millennial buyers, like you said, they want things yesterday. So sometimes they have to get their financing in order to decide if they're going to move forward with this project. So that's why I was asking.
I mean, from new construction, if you're going to take a house and graze it, because New Jersey does not have a lot of land, right? It's the most densely populated state in the country, so a lot of times builders are buying properties that have a house on it and grazing it. So from the point of owning that and being able to apply for the demo permits, I would say it could take up to a year.
It could take up to a year.
It could take up to a year. However, that's why it's really important, and I teach my team to stay on top of the market. When we drive around and we see something being built, we stop, we get to know the builder, we find out if that house is being built to be put on the market or if it's a custom home already purchased by someone. And we have a list in our team of inventory that we know is coming. We also know the agents that work in this space, and we'll reach out to them. So if I put up a listing that's not going to be ready for a year, but I get calls from buyers who need a home in the next 3 to 4 months, I may not be able to sell them that listing, but I can sell them other homes that I know are coming that might also fit their criteria.
Right, especially right now, right, we've seen parts of Westfield, Scotch Plains, Fanwood, where I've seen, driving down, we're just seeing like what used to be a cape. It's now almost an estate now in some cases.
Right.
I'm exaggerating a little bit.
They turn it into colonial, they blow it out the back.
Right, and so we've seen, and you look at it like, wow, this is really, really, really nice. So, that whole phase is very interesting within itself. So that's good stuff. I'm happy that you're part of that, and those who are doing that, because then you're actually creating inventory, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that. I mean, you're actually, because of your resources, you're able to provide that value to clients who are like you said, who are coming from Hoboken, New York City, and like, hey, you know what? I couldn't find this on the MLS, but because the Boss Team was able to, through their resources, find what's going to happen to some of these homes and know some of these general contractors that can help build a home for them. So that's not everybody has that skill set. Right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, and when agents come on my team, that's what I teach them. So I have a new agent on my team. She joined me, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. And she told me she wanted to learn this niche, and she is just about to go under contract on her first new construction home that was not on the market.
Congratulations to her.
It was a builder who had heard of our team, knew we were doing a lot in the space, had reached out to me to see if we could support them listing things in the future, and happened to walk me through one of their houses that's in process of being built, and we had a buyer for it. So that house never hit the market, and she will be going under contract probably today or tomorrow.
Wow, that's awesome. Congratulations to her. So what would you what's the top 3 things you would tell first-time home buyers?
Biggest thing is you have to be in it to win it. So you have to get in the game. A lot of times, well, actually, let me back up, and
Okay.
you'll appreciate this one. Get pre-approved.
Right.
So number one, understand what is your purchase power, and also understand what kind of programs are out there that might assist you as a buyer. A lot of mortgage companies are, they have different products. Some people may not be able to put 20% down. They may need a different loan type. So really understanding like what is my purchasing power and what are my options.
Correct.
Then you take that to someone like myself or one of my team members. And then we're very good about not trying to oversell or push you beyond your comfort zone. We want to try to help you stay within your budget. And from there, I would say you have to be in it to win it. So many times we work with buyers who are hesitant to place offers because they don't want to get their heart broken. They don't want to get into a bidding war. But I find that the sooner you're writing offers,
Right.
even if you don't feel like you're going to win this property, you never know when your offer, one, you're going to learn, right?
Correct.
So you may not win, but if you submit an offer, most listing agents are going to be willing to give you more information about where you stood against other buyers. Second, I have seen a lot of deals falling apart in this market. And my team probably on 2 or 3 occasions in the past 6 months, we've had the backup offer.
Right.
So that first deal fell apart, they didn't win, but they came back to us and they gave us that second chance. So buyers need to not be afraid to, put their best foot forward. And then the third thing is, arm yourself with an agent that is waking up every day thinking about your needs. A lot of times buyers feel like going to the listing agent is the right answer, but the listing agent has a fiduciary responsibility to the seller.
Correct.
And yes, they may want to take both sides of the commission, but you got to understand when you're approaching a listing agent, they have a responsibility to the seller to get them the strongest offer, the best offer, and then not just the offer, but the whole transaction, like inspections. When you have the listing agent representing you as a buyer on inspections, it can get a little bit tricky.
Right.
You got to lean a lot on the attorneys, but if you have your own agent who's only representing your interest, they can support you through the whole process.
And that's key, right? Because like you said, it's not like you're going to do this over again in 2 years or next year, right? You're doing this right now. So you need to make sure like you're equipped with everybody that's willing to make sure what you're buying, you get what you asked for in that purchase price. So going back to what you were saying, I think it's good for some agents who are dual in some cases, right? I get it, I respect it, it's an opportunity, but at the same time, when one is buying something so expensive, you really want to make sure you are arsenaled with everybody that's going to help you and your family for the future, right? Because
100%.
those relationships are lasting, and they will always remember that time where something could have went wrong because you went above and beyond and serviced them. They're like, okay, I remember that part, and for that, they're grateful for it, right? So that's good stuff.
We just had a deal fall apart because our buyer conducted inspections, and there were water issues in the house, even though they weren't disclosed. And it was really in our client's best interest to no longer buy this home. And so my team and I, we will do what's best for the client. It could be tempting to kind of push and want to keep that deal together.
Correct.
But it's super important, me leading this team, that we always do exactly what's best for our client, even if that means letting a deal fall apart and moving on to the next one.
Okay, switching back, as a listing agent now, turning that hat on, how would you help one ready to list their house for 2024?
So it's still such an amazing time to put your house on the market.
Right.
My biggest thing as a listing agent, and something I think differentiates us, is not just listing the house, but also figuring out where they're going to move. Anyone can list a house in this market and probably sell it and get a strong number because there is such high demand and now rates are coming back down. It's super important that you're working with an agent who's going to think about, where are you moving? Is that taken care of? You have someone helping you on that end. And then from a listing side, being willing to bring you as many potential buyers as possible. So stepping back and making sure that you're marketing the house in all the right channels, not just the traditional ways, but also are you doing like, you know, high-tech digital marketing? Are you hiring a videographer to showcase the house and it's at its best? Also, are you making sure that you're considering all the best uses of your house? So sometimes I'll have an older home that actually might be a great rental. So I don't want to just market it to first-time home buyers, but I want to make sure I'm pushing it out there to investors too, who might pick it up and put it in their rental portfolio.
That's good stuff. Lastly, outside of real estate, what do you like to eat, or activity-wise, what do you like to do outside of real estate?
Oh, geez. I love spending time with my friends and my son. So
Okay.
I love cooking. If you know, I like cooking Italian food mostly. But if I'm going out to eat, it tends to be Thai. It tends to be sushi. Every now and then I'll have a craving for steak. But just anything that centers around me being able to focus on spending quality time with someone.
Favorite restaurant?
Oh, favorite restaurant is a Kai in Westfield.
In Westfield? Okay,
Yeah.
in Westfield? Okay. Cool.
Yeah, great sushi, great environment, awesome bar, and I have tons of meetings there, so it's a great spot for me to just, you know, talk to someone one-on-one.
Good stuff. So if you're looking to join Jaynie team, you know where she's going to be at.
Yes.
Jamie, thank you so much for coming on. Let's talk about it. Greatly appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the holidays.
All right, thanks, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
All right.